University of Utah Hospital. March 17, 3:17 a.m. A billionaire dies alone in room 604. His wife? Gone. His children? Gone. The only person holding his hand when he took his last breath was a night shift nurse named Patricia who made $32 an hour. 4 hours earlier, his entire family was in that waiting room. 4 straight days of vigil. And then, the nurse whispered something. Within 30 minutes, every single one of them walked out. No goodbyes. Just gone. What could make a family abandon a dying man? Money, or more specifically, the fear of losing it. Lawrence Sterling orchestrated it. He needed to know something. And what that nurse whispered, that was the test. A test his family failed spectacularly. But here's what none of them knew: the whisper was a lie. This is the story of a man who had $4.2 billion and died wondering if anyone actually loved him. And the story of a woman who had $347 in her checking account, who showed him the answer. Let me take you back to where it started. Lawrence Sterling collapsed in his home office. He suffered massive heart attack. By 7:30 a.m., he was in the ICU. 76 years old. One of the wealthiest men in Utah. Machines breathing for him. Vanessa arrived first. His wife of 12 years. 51 to his 76. She took his hand, kissed his forehead, then pulled out her phone and posted their intertwined hands to Instagram. Derek came at 10. Lawrence's son, 48. VP of Sterling Properties, a title his father gave him, not one he'd earned. He set up his laptop in the corner. Started taking calls about succession planning while his father lay dying 10 feet away. Nicole showed up at noon. Lawrence's daughter, 45. Lifestyle influencer. She brought expensive flowers ordered online and stood by the window scrolling through her phone. For 3 days, they rotated shifts like employees clocking in. Vanessa posted, Day 2. Still believing. With a heart emoji. Derek took meetings in the hallway. If something happens, we need the transition plan ready. Nicole FaceTimed her husband. Can you check if we're still on for Deer Valley this weekend? Patricia, the night nurse with 18 years in ICU, saw right through it. She watched Vanessa check her reflection more than the monitors. Heard Derek's business calls. Noticed Nicole never actually touched her father. And she saw Lawrence. When his family thought he was unconscious, he'd open his eyes and watch them. Watch his wife texting. His son calculating. His daughter performing. Day 3, 2 a.m., just Patricia and Lawrence. He whispered, They're waiting. Patricia didn't ask what he meant. She knew. They weren't waiting for him to get better. By day 4, March 16th, the doctors were clear. Tonight, maybe tomorrow. His heart was failing. The family received the news at 3 p.m. Vanessa cried. Derek nodded. Should we call anyone? Nicole left and came back with Starbucks. They settled in for the final vigil. But at 8:47 p.m., everything changed. That's when Patricia walked out of room 604 and whispered the words that revealed who these people really were. 8:47 p.m. The family was outside Lawrence's room in the hallway. He'd been unconscious for 3 hours. His vitals declining. Patricia came out of room 604. Vanessa noticed first. Patricia? Derek, how is he? Any changes? Patricia hesitated. That 1-second pause made them lean in. He's stable. But there was something. Vanessa stepped closer. Something? Patricia glanced back at the room. I probably shouldn't tell you this. 2 hours earlier, Lawrence had woken up. Fully lucid. And he'd asked Patricia to do something specific. Something that would finally answer his question. But his family didn't know that. Derek's voice got firm. Patricia, we're his family. Whatever it is, we need to know. About an hour ago, Mr. Sterling woke up. Very focused. He asked me to hand him his phone. Silence. He made a call. To his attorney, Ronald Bishop. Long pause. Watch their faces shift. Derek. His attorney? Why would he? Patricia looked down. I wasn't trying to listen, but I was right there. And he wasn't quiet. Vanessa, what did he say? He kept saying, change everything, and make it official. He said, they only show up when I'm dying. And something about leaving everything to people who actually gave a damn about him. Nicole's hand went to her mouth. He was on the phone for almost 20 minutes. At the end he said, do it tonight, Ronald. I want it official before. Then he stopped. Closed his eyes. Vanessa's voice shook. Did he say anything about us? Patricia looked at her. He was crying. In 4 days I've never seen him emotional. But tonight, tears running down his face. He kept saying, I see it now. I've always been alone. Nicole, so he changed his will? I'm just a nurse. I don't know the legalities. I just thought you should know his state of mind. In case you want to talk to him. While there's still time. Derek, is he awake now? He's resting. I gave him something for pain. He'll probably sleep for a few hours. Vanessa turned to Derek and Nicole. Can we talk? Privately? Patricia walked away. And the three of them stood there 20 feet from their dying father. And not one moved toward that door. Instead, they walked to the waiting room. That's where the masks came off. The waiting room. Empty except for them. For a full minute, nobody spoke. Finally, Derek, he changed the will. Dad's in pain. Just wait, he changed the will. Vanessa, we don't know that for sure. Patricia said he called Ronald Bishop. At night. From a hospital bed. Why else? Nicole's voice cracked. Maybe he was just updating something? Getting affairs in order. Derek laughed. Bitter. He said, they only show up when I'm dying. Who do you think he meant? Us. Nicole's eyes filled with tears. But we have been here. For days. Doing what, Nicole? You were on Instagram. Planning ski weekends. When's the last time you actually talked to him? That's not fair. Fair? I've worked for Sterling Properties 15 years. 80-hour weeks. Missed my kids' birthdays. For what? A paycheck because I'm his son. Not because he respected my work. Vanessa cut in. Stop. This isn't, we're talking about your father. My husband. He's dying. Derek turned on her. Your husband? You've been married 12 years. My mother was married to him 26. Until she died. His second wife? 8 years. You were 39 when you married him. He was 64. You want to tell me that was love? Vanessa's face went hard. How dare you? I dare because it's the truth. You married a billionaire. Got the house, cars, unlimited credit cards. Don't pretend this was romance. Vanessa sat down. Her voice different. Now colder. Fine. Honesty? I gave him 12 years. Played dutiful wife. Smiled at business dinners. Held his hand at funerals. Laughed at terrible jokes. I earned whatever's in that will. Nicole looked shocked. Vanessa. Don't. You've been living off his money your entire life. Park City townhouse? Dad bought it. The car? Dad bought it. Your lifestyle brand that barely covers Starbucks? All Dad's money. Derek walked to center. Voice quiet. Dangerous. Patricia said he told his attorney to leave everything to people who actually gave a damn. Past tense. It's done. He looked at both of them. If the money's already gone, what are we doing here? Nicole whispered, he's our father. Is he? Or is he a stranger whose credit card we've been using? Vanessa, Derek, what are you saying? I'm saying if he's already changed the will, if he's decided we don't deserve anything, then sitting here is just theater. We're performing for an audience that left. Maybe we should go home. Nicole stood fast. Are you insane? Why not? He left us first. We're not worth his billions. Fine, he's not worth our time. Vanessa stared. You don't mean that. Don't I? If he apologizes tomorrow, says he was confused, what changes? The will's already updated and filed. There's no taking it back. And if tonight's the night? What's the point of watching? Nicole sat back down. This is wrong. Derek, you know what's wrong? 48 years of being someone's son, doing everything right, then finding out the only thing that mattered was money. And when you think it's gone, he's suddenly disposable. He grabbed his jacket. I'm done pretending this was about family. It was always business. When someone cuts you out of a deal, you walk away. He stopped at the door. Turned. The worst part? He was right. We did only show up because he was dying. We are here for the will. Now that he's figured it out, I don't even blame him. I just wish I'd realized 40 years ago I was never his son. Just an employee who couldn't be fired. He left. Nicole looked at Vanessa. What do we do? Vanessa stood. Grabbed her purse. We go home. Vanessa, no. He's right. If Lawrence wanted us here, he wouldn't have called that attorney. He made his choice. I'm not sitting here pretending to mourn a man who just made sure I'd spend my life comfortable but not wealthy. She walked to the door. Stopped. Are you coming? Nicole sat there, torn, the guilt, the anger, the calculation. She stood up. I need to tell Patricia we're leaving. And just like that, the vigil was over. 9:03 p.m. Vanessa found Patricia at the nurse's station. We're heading home. We need real rest. Patricia, of course. Should I call if there are changes? Vanessa hesitated. Yes, call my cell phone. She didn't say, when he wakes up. She said, if there are changes. Patricia? That phone call. Are you absolutely sure that's what you heard? Patricia looked at her. This woman in expensive athleisure, designer purse, diamond ring worth more than Patricia made in 2 years. I'm sure. Vanessa nodded. Thank you for everything. She left. Derek was already gone. Nicole left 3 minutes later with a hug that felt like an apology. And the ICU was quiet again. In room 604, Lawrence Sterling, dying alone. Exactly like he'd predicted. Exactly like he'd orchestrated. 10:47 p.m. Patricia? She rushed in. Lawrence's eyes were open. Clearer than she'd seen in days. Mr. Sterling. Let me get the doctor? No. Just, where is everyone? Your family went home to rest. They've been here for days. They're not coming back. Not a question. It's okay. I know. They left after you told them about the phone call, didn't they? Patricia froze. How long after? Her voice barely a whisper. About 16 minutes. Lawrence smiled. The saddest smile she'd ever seen. Faster than I thought. He closed his eyes. When he opened them, tears. Patricia, I need to tell you something. There was no phone call. What? No attorney. No will change. I never called Ronald Bishop. That was my accountant. Tax estimates. Boring business. Then why? I asked you to lie. To say I'd called my attorney. Changed my will. All of it. His voice cracked. I needed to know, Patricia. For 40 years I've wondered. Every I love you, every thanks Dad, was it real? Or was it the money? I gave Derek a career he didn't earn. Nicole a trust fund that made her soft. Vanessa a life she couldn't afford. So I asked you to tell them the money was gone. To see if they'd stay. Tears flowing now. I just needed to know. Patricia sat in the chair. And now you know. 16 minutes. That's what 40 years of fatherhood is worth. I gave them everything, Patricia. And the second they thought it was gone, so were they. Patricia took his hand. I'm so sorry. Lawrence squeezed back. Don't be. You gave me the truth. That's more valuable than anything in my account. Tell me about your life. Your real life. I want to know who you are. Mr. Sterling, you should rest. I've rested enough. I've spent 76 years talking. Let me listen. So Patricia told him. 2 kids at university, working jobs to help pay. Ex-husband who left young. Nursing debt she's still paying. Extra shifts for tuition. So tired some mornings she can't remember driving to work. Last Christmas bought groceries instead of gifts. Kids said it was the best Christmas ever. Lawrence listened. Really listened. Asked questions. Laughed. Got quiet at the hard parts. For 2 hours they talked. Around 1 a.m., why did you build it all? The money, the empire, what was it for? Lawrence was quiet. I thought it was for them. So they'd never struggle like I did. Never worry. But I didn't give them everything. I gave them nothing. Things instead of time. Money instead of presence. Security instead of struggle. I thought I was building a legacy. All I built was a prison. He looked at her. Your kids work 2 jobs for college. Mine never worked until I gave them positions. Your kids called grocery store Christmas the best ever. Mine complained when bonuses were only 6 figures. You did it right, Patricia. Not me. Patricia squeezed his hand. They're just scared. People do terrible things when scared. Lawrence smiled sadly. Kind of you. But we both know. They're showing me who they are. And I'm finally brave enough to see it. Around 2:30 a.m., monitors started changing. Mr. Sterling, I need to call the doctor. His grip tightened. No. Please. Just stay. I don't want doctors or machines. I just want someone who's here because they want to be. Not because they have to. Not because they're paid. Just because. Patricia sat. Held his hand with both of hers. I'm here. Not going anywhere. Lawrence's breathing shallowed. Patricia? Yes. Thank you for showing me what I spent my whole life buying can't be bought. For staying when there was nothing to gain. His eyes closing. You're richer tonight than I've been in 76 years. 3:17 a.m. The monitor went flat. Patricia didn't let go immediately. She sat for 5 more minutes. Because that's what humans do. That's what love does. Even for a stranger. Lawrence Sterling died with one person in the room. A nurse who made $32 an hour. Who'd known him 4 days. Who gained nothing from staying. And everything from staying. 9:23 a.m. March 17th. Vanessa's phone rang. Hospital number. Mrs. Sterling? This is Patricia from the ICU. I'm very sorry, Lawrence passed away early this morning. At 3:17 a.m. What? But the doctors said. His heart failed. It happened peacefully. He wasn't in pain. Was anyone with him? I was. He wasn't alone. Vanessa should have felt relief. Instead, something sharper. Guilt. Why didn't you call me? It happened quickly. And he asked me not to call anyone. She hung up. Sat in her king-sized bed in the house Lawrence bought, surrounded by things Lawrence paid for. And cried. Not for Lawrence. For herself. Because she'd traded 16 minutes for what? Pride? Anger? Money that might not even be hers? She called Derek. He answered, Is it done? He died at 3:17 this morning. Silence. I'll call Nicole. We'll meet at the hospital. They met at 11 a.m. Signed papers. Collected his effects. Watch, wallet, phone. As they left, Patricia walked by. Finishing her shift. Exhausted. Patricia? Nicole stopped her. Vanessa, thank you for being with him. Patricia nodded. Derek, did he say anything? At the end. Patricia looked at him. He said he finally got the answer he was looking for. What answer? You'd have to ask him. But you can't. Because when he needed you, you weren't. She walked past them into the morning sun. And they stood there feeling more alone than they'd ever felt. Because Patricia had just said what they'd been avoiding. They'd failed. Not at inheritance. At being human. 2 weeks later. Law offices of Ronald Bishop. Downtown Salt Lake City. Derek, Vanessa, Nicole in leather chairs. Ronald Bishop, 71, silver hair, opened a folder. Lawrence updated his will 6 months ago. He requested I read it aloud. Vanessa, 6 months ago? Not the night he died. No. Last update was September. Why? They all realized. The phone call never happened. Patricia wasn't lying. Lawrence was. Derek's face went white. Nicole covered her mouth. Shall I begin? Derek, barely audible, yes. Ronald read. To Derek Sterling, $15 million. More than most earn in 10 lifetimes. Enough to never work again. But I hope you'll work anyway. Not for money. For meaning. To Nicole Sterling, $15 million. Enough to be comfortable, not careless. I gave you money that made you soft. Use this to find what makes you strong. To Vanessa Sterling, 30 million. For 12 years of companionship. I won't call it love. We both know what it was. I hope you find someone who sees you, not your Instagram. The remainder, $3.95 billion, distributed as follows. $1 billion to Sterling Healthcare Workers Fund for nursing scholarships. $1 billion to Sterling Housing Trust for homeless housing. $1 billion to Sterling Employee Retirement Fund. $950 million to various charitable organizations. Special provision to Patricia Morrison, night nurse at University of Utah Hospital, $5 million. Derek looked up. $5 million? To a nurse. Ronald continued. Patricia doesn't know about this. She never asked for anything. On my last night, when everyone left, she stayed. She held my hand when I had nothing to offer but my dying breath. $5 million won't make her rich. She already is rich. It'll just make her comfortable. Ronald pulled out an envelope. One more thing. Lawrence asked me to read this letter aloud. To my family. You're shocked by what I left you. Don't be. I gave you every advantage. I set you up to never struggle. But in building wealth, I forgot to build relationships. In giving you everything, I taught you nothing. I know about the 16 minutes. I orchestrated it. I asked Patricia to lie about the attorney call. To see if you'd stay when you thought the money was gone. You answered clearly. The big no. Derek, I gave you a job you didn't earn, then wondered why you had no work ethic. That's on me. Nicole, I gave you a trust fund before you'd earned $1, then wondered why you never built anything. That's on me. Vanessa, we gave each other what we wanted. But neither asked what the other needed. I failed you first. I've left you millions. If you're angry, ask why. Would any amount have been enough? I'm leaving my fortune to people who cared when there was nothing to gain. Patricia held my hand for free. She was richer that night than I've been in 76 years. My final gift is the truth. I wasn't rich because of my money. I was poor because I raised people who only loved my bank account. Build something that matters. Love people who have nothing to give you. Stay when there's nothing to gain. Before you die alone wondering if anyone ever really loved you. Lawrence. Ronald slid the envelope to Derek. That's everything. Nobody moved. Derek stood. Walked out without a word. Nicole sat crying. Vanessa stared at the envelope. Finally, he knew. The whole time. Ronald nodded. Lawrence Sterling was many things. Stupid wasn't one of them. Vanessa picked up the envelope. What do we do now? Ronald stood. That, Mrs. Sterling, is entirely up to you. 3 months later. Patricia Morrison stared at the check for 20 minutes. $5 million. She called her kids. Their loans? Paid off. Tuition? Covered. She paid off her nursing debt from 18 years ago. She didn't quit. Still works at University of Utah Hospital. Still takes night shifts. Still holds patients' hands. She established the Lawrence Sterling Second Chances Fund for ICU families. Never asked for recognition. Never posted about it. Just helped. Because that's who she is. Derek took his $15 million and left Salt Lake City. Last heard, he's in Montana running a small construction company. Working with his hands for the first time. Nicole closed her Instagram. Started a nonprofit helping women build businesses without family money. Learning what her father tried to teach too late. Vanessa sold the Federal Heights house. Seeing a therapist. She melted down Lawrence's wedding ring, made it into a necklace. Wears it every day. Not as a symbol of marriage. As a reminder of 16 minutes she can never get back. Lawrence Sterling died alone. But not lonely. He died with clarity. With truth. With one person who cared. His family inherited millions but lost something more valuable. Time and the chance to say goodbye. And they'll spend their lives doing math. 15 million versus 16 minutes. A fortune versus the hand they didn't hold. Money makes terrible math. Here's what matters. The people in your life are testing you every day. With their presence. Their choices. What they do when there's nothing to gain. Are you showing up for people because of what they give you? Or who they are? Would you stay if the money disappeared? Would they? Lawrence spent $4.2 billion trying to buy love. Patricia gave it for free. One died wealthy on paper but poor in spirit. One lived poor on paper but rich in everything that matters. That nurse whispered 7 words that changed everything. But the real whisper is happening in your head right now. Who would stay? And who would leave? Listen to that whisper. Then do something about it. Before you're dying in room 604, wondering if anyone ever loved you. Before you're the one who walked away and spent your life trying to walk back. Would you have stayed? Be honest in the comments. If this made you think differently about money and family, please share it with us.